Well, Metwaso. And I know Paisa Mwakwaba, Yentwaso Agudi in some way. Now, Franco Trading Enterprise, yes, Yakonkona, Yadi Agudi won some Twaso, and I know pay. Yana Tosso, there's a fatas out in a Yabuana yet a bro. Medini Kejuana Casarica City, Wadi Pablo Ima, and a Bernard Padibutri, I am a producer, son of pay, I may come home, I may day and Sabano at the bread. Webber shall say, I feel the Ghanaian Premier League, and later on, yeah, zoom straight into the UEFA Champions League. And Man City, the Oya, to Shrimp Crofon Kwangu Yankasa. Rough, destroy everything. The match is so none in Tampa. Taban is an be now, maybe will be an imho or the Pep Guardiola, young Betrioka. You're fine. Until you lose answer any massa. What I say, but Basha say, I feel the Ghanaian Premier League, Minoka, Kumasa, Santa Kotoko, and it's what who knows some Baji League, you know, nice one. Some toss in Sa. I heard the Aqua 8 points, and the Audaso Emidiamano at the Atri Womumu. Nana Penkra, na IMC chairman. So, was a Vimen Vogo, sending out the young movie in a match so I be born dear. 8 points. And yes,
You bought 19 matches in your boy. You bought 34. 15 matches. Eda anymore was your boy. Bibia bet me see. Bibia bet me see. And Runtina Yakofa Betamo and Dogomuni a year bar. Yadi baby beefy a baby a full say apple for no. Those who so by adaptation ne won't can win tea. Yadi Abetamo by a general basse or buffer a project. Or buffer project and a project when a dying league ya any FA Cup ya.
Also, if we can have our own ABRD, also we are not boarding the infrastructure and architecture. Yeah, as to whether some of our stadium will even support VAR is another matter. But if we can have our own ABR, that OB van we are quite welcome. The business connection to we can improvise and do something. Then we can improvise and do something.
In Germany, you have 19 matches in your boy. You bought 34. 15 matches. Eda anymore was your boy. Bibia bet me see. Bibia bet me see. And Runtina Yakofa Betamo and Dogomuni a year bar. Yadi baby beefy a baby a full say apple for no. Those who so by adaptation ne won't can win tea. Yadi Betamo by a general basse or buffer a project. Or buffer project and a project when a dying league ya any FA Cup ya. Enti area empower you will GDC betimiache you will hope to be BBC betimiache and bet me assure see I just only a Africa na enko yet to say na no di be improvement e be improve upon it.
Oh, na Penkra, I'm chairman the Kumasi Sante Kotoko. Nensamodia to Jarano. Now, Yanko, now you go to Ghanaian Premier League in over the weekend, and some pass will be a discussion about referees, goals, and AF, and born an AF in Yanka. Because Kumasa Sante Kotoko, Yabo Bono, Ashego, Yanye, not vision, enemy Diema, so Basa, has of folks also dream self Ashego, Yanni Tesse, and Sembe Brainia, there. The Brainia Trauma Dream, Ewo, who on a FIFA and CAF and referee instructor, Thomas Nuno, and one day and someone to just say the Ecoso Ghanaian Premier League anymore. I had on the Kobe to say, if you know, and can come home them, Navia and Nibim Raya Ghanaian Premier League anymore.
Also, if we can have our own ABRD, also we are not boarding the infrastructure and architecture. Yeah, as to whether some of our stadium will even support VAR is another matter. But if we can have our own ABR, that OB van we are quite welcome. The business connection to we can improvise and do something. Then we can improvise and do something. The cameras angle, the between their boy, so that we can have some on-field reviews. And no ever credit some of these things. Because some of the time, realize that it's not their fault. Although we talk about positioning, some of them become very helpless under certain circumstances. But Anka, we were for a mission with one. And he didn't pay for no. And let's say you cannot say, we are somebody will suffer it bitterly. So those things who are suffering, it's difficult. It's difficult. But they will have to sacrifice to do. Now, Ochinano,
Right. Live on Adom TV. Yeah. I can see you today, bro. Now, I'm wrestling and the Ministry of Youth and Sports, headed by the Honorable Sports Minister Kofi Adams. Then they inaugurate the local organizing committee on na African wrestling competition. So our my moon, 2026 na on na bibia timi akoye. Juma dey na say no, and same way the Honorable Minister Tuga.
We'll be hosting the 15th African Arm Wrestling Championship in 2026. And this competition will also serve as a qualifier for the 2027 African Games in Egypt. That alone tells us how important this event is. What happens here will shape who represents Africa at the Games and how this sport continue to grow across the continent. You are to promote the championship through local media and marketing channels. You are to ensure safety and security for all participants and attendees. You are to seek adequate sponsorship for the hosting of the championships. You are to be responsible also for Team Ghana's successful participation. You are to provide regular updates to the Africa Arm Wrestling Federation and the Ministry of Sports and Recreation on preparations and event progress. And you are to ensure, this is also very, very important, that doping control procedures are followed as per relevant anti-doping regulations, because we want our sports competition to be clean and to be fair. We don't want anybody to win because the person has doped. And so this, among others, will be the responsibilities of the local organizing committee. Since I became the Minister for Sports and Recreation and I've attended a number of events, I have no doubt.
Right, Honorable Kofi Adams and somebody to and now committee so Mrs. Mami Efia Wageto, or Ghana Tourism Authority, one or your chairperson of the committee, and Mr. and Dr. Kofi Adwa Jekum Kofi Krum Pharmacy, Honorable Vice Chairperson. Mr. ACI Gordon Sa, Immigration Service Nufi Security Ghana, and also a member, Mr. Edwin Amankwa, and so a member, Mr. Gideon Hammond, Deputy Director General FNA, and as NSA, and also Miss Jessica Quatin, Minister of Sports and Recreation, Protocol Officer, and official Mr. Andriaka, Advertisers Association of Ghana, and also a member of the committee. From the 23rd of July, the Africa Arm Wrestling Championship where the toss of 15th and Ghana yetime aje ADC matrix so Franco Trading Enterprise from Papa Fie ADC akonkwan opena yeren sam no pre wona yemfio ne kopie mu ewo yanama man show and the UEFA Champions League enra etwa so group stage aye say kwambia so when be qualify for the knockout phase and Arsenal here Germany against Inter Milan, Real Madrid here Germany need pa City DC form coupled with other results, past Tottenham money at the end. So I know the course so in those few games, but I share the results of Wenra games. Nafi, there one or two discussion on them. Apart from the the other results, the way it's screens to see, I don't know. But this is it. And yes, Club Brugge born a can 918 move back. We see today now share Copenhagen and Napoli ball 1-1. Inter Milan Arsenal who Olympiacos ball Leverkusen by 2-0. Now you call your next slide. Real Madrid 6-1. Sporting CP. Ejana Sweeney 2-1 over Paris Saint-Germain. Interesting. Tottenham Hotspur about Borussia Dortmund by 2-0. And AS and so Equawe winning 2-1 over BRL. Now with me in the studio, my man, he was Kwabena.
Those are good.
Good. Results of course, the shocking results to power.
The shocking one has to do with Manchester City.
Okay.
Or Kopimo Norway. Now, 3 goals to 1. Edition, PSG, some way, somehow, you just give it to Sporting CP because only one club, though, money share than you but sometimes you know, so the reason why I make us this particular result, Bodo Glimt, Manchester City, the shocking results, and after they say, the comeback of the UEFA Champions League, and then they will, and they say, Guardiola, me name the Hano, what you Manchester debut. You are trying to bring the comeback. In fact, the son of McGahey added some new kind of spirit. Binomuni will be an EJB the idea can be about. So going to play this game, why should he field the youngest ever by average Champions League squad? And so was how much you and no another Alain more or really more any Kusanov.
You had Haaland, you had Rodri, you had
Haaland go play with the club Norway no on the captain Bobo Kuno. But no question say Bobo Kuno say Bodo glimpse. Oh, fear they anticipated this particular game more than any other game on Marble.
City and
Don't forget, this is their first time on board Champions League and in Manchester City and I'm first win ever.
Wow.
And so Omo coach Yatel for now he will be celebrated in the history of Bodo Glimpse because on the history of the UEFA Champions League. Otimima omunye den enya the first win Guardiola and underrated woman. I'll not blame any player. Coach of Manchester City Guardiola underrated them.
Well, Real Madrid Bogumunsia Abeloa finally getting it right. And
I think Real Madrid players, they knew what was at stake. Going into this game after some winning against Levante 2-0, after the sacking of Xabi Alonso, we all know Xabi Alonso, he was trying to implement the kind of system no use to by Leverkusen or Real Madrid, of which if you look at the super ego side, na emfa. So coming into a Real Madrid, now Avaro Abeloa Abenya the North, a coach what he needed to do is say, Obama the players, the confidence, Obama with that free room, with a comeback of Mbappe, Omo Pretty, and that Bobo Kona Omudi, Edenes, and Real Madrid, Omo Body Tiomono, definitely Monaco, they have to, beat them mercilessly. And Kylian Mbappe, once again, Unze Oshe multiple goals, and 11 goals for now, was set a record. When you say, Nanke Cristiano Ronaldo, and about in the history of the Champions League, during the group stages, league phase, watch 11 goals in the season. Now, Kylian Mbappe 11. The probability say before the league phase, we're going to break this record. No, also.
Paris Saint-Germain, can Champions League, I guess, more de BB bad on Makolusu.
Yeah, yes, defending champions.
Yeah,
no question say Sporting CP at home. And we are on attack. The way are not supplies in the corner so and the OC assess chances. I'm talking about Sporting CP, almost striker. On put the second caution more because a mere PSG shall go now. We are not ruling out. One the opportunity to buy, saying no, conform. Yes, no, we need to respond. And yes, sir, on bet match. And after getting the first goal, now Kvaratskhelia, equalizer. No, what PSG they were supposed to do? They say Marquinhos will organize it, but they try to open the game. Now come no mind. Oman Kasomo ball low block. They try to play mid block and then create the chances. Osman Dembele mujine ni more chances no no say no Bakola no this one I will not say underrated but it's like the way Bobo Kwani in this Sporting CP omumum esi here then respond here after that goal now we are ruling out no and they change the dynamics of the game. I think so really Luis Enrique Martinez Garcia Lucho has to go back to the drawing board no reso be in 2
well who is going to stop us now at long last he be an fee on year and
Maka Eriko, Meka, Obi Adom TV, Ghana's #1 account television station team and operate. Say Mikel Arteta and win a trophy this season, he should be sacked. Why?
Repeating babe.
Say Mikel Arteta, Arsenal Bobo Koromoteneno. So when team and the trophy be this season, where I I say born in too.
That's fine. So UEFA Champions League. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, and the officials yes, this is it. And the match is of course on our screens this year. This is it. Chelsea Pafos. Send your Nandel.
It's a Chelsea win.
Okay. Karabag and Track Frankfurt Galatasaray Atletico de Madrid Atlanta Athletic Club of Bilbao Bayern Munich St. Gallen Chelsea Pafos Juventus Benfica Marseille and Liverpool, not a bad game. Newcastle and PSV. There's Prague and Barcelona and the so. But here the next slide. And I said, "What we are no." Okay, there's it. Mame, first table no first slide on for you in see Arsenal. Edge on the table so. There's it. Arsenal and Kwamna says, "Man, you be a fear." Now, my son, papa. I say, looking like I say, I'm one Phoebe. Okay, on top of the table, Arsenal 7 out of 7. Real Madrid touched me with 15. Bayern 15. Tottenham 4th. Paris Saint-Germain 5th. Acquire could see a more trip for now. On bet me a boy man. That is it. Or more boy man guso of the UEFA Champions League in the morning. Live on Adom TV. Imagine so na yedi asi ewo Adom TV straight no pay UEFA Champions League and you make so live commentary ewo Asempa 94.7 FM Tiana wa share so sa edi ama yen Franco Trading Enterprise phone papa fi na edi esi akonkom yere nsam no ebreo Bernard Padibotwe Pablo Aima, me able producers. Yana Waka and Nankasa Kakijwane ho, Erica C. Dubuedi. It was see, this is Fianna Braquasi over to you.